Hello to everyone. The day has finally come for us to review you what our newest add-on is. And today we're gonna speak about RealNibba's raid tools. And this is the ultimate raiding add-on, guys. I'm gonna explain you quickly now what the add-on does and what functions it actually has. And then we're gonna speak about the second add-on. But now let's start covering so we don't waste any time. This that you see here is a best in slot tracker. What does that mean? Here you have a list of every best in slot item. And when you click on an item, you can see here that these are the classes and the specs that can actually use the item. And what does the item do? Currently, I'm logged with two characters. This here is my shaman, and we both have the add-on, so you can see how it works. So basically, the best in slot tracker, if you put up an item on raid warning, and if it's in the database, no matter what item, if it's in the database, you're gonna see this message in the chat. The class which is best in slot for, and out means alternative, which means that this item can be used alternatively by a Paladin retribution, but is not the best in slot item according to our current database. For example, if we try to put the cloak, these are the specs. And do you notice that we both have the add-on, but only one person is announcing? That's because it has an integrated spam protection. Here you can find detailed info on how exactly to use it. It has faction support. So for example, for items like Death's Verdict, currently it's not in the database, but if you put it in the database, it's gonna automatically change it to Death's Choice for Horde or Death's Verdict for Alliance. And yeah, basically here when you click on an item, you can edit it, you can do all of this in game, and here you can add any item that you want. You just paste the item here and you type, let's say, Resto, Shaman, Druid, Balance, Paladin, Holy. Yeah, I know it's not correct, but just to test and show you how it works. Out specs, anyone who wants to roll. Add item, and here you can see it's added. And now when we put it up on raid warning, we're gonna see the message down here. So that's a pretty cool thing. Now let's move on to the spammer. Here on the spammer, it's basically the spammer that you've seen in my videos that all of you wanted to try out, with a little bit of a difference here. Here you have a raid preset builder. So you select the raid size, and for example, let's do a ICC, and you select normal, heroic, 8 out of 12 heroic, Lich King run, LOD or outrun. Let's try LOD. And here you can select the classes that you need. You have melee DPSs, you have healers, and you have range DPS. Let's say we need a DK tank, a combat rogue and a pharaoh. We also need a resto shaman and a holy power, and we need, let's say, 5 range DPS. We want 6.2k gear score plus and DBW plus Shadowfrost shards reserved. And if you click include achievement link, it's automatically gonna show you the required achievement to join the raid. Then you click to send to spammer. You select, for example, I'm gonna select yell now so we can check. I'm gonna set it to 5 seconds now, the interval, and you're gonna see in exactly 5 seconds. Yeah, here is the message and the chat. And when you decide to, let's say, change it that you need only a prot power now, not a DK tank, you just send to spammer and it automatically updates. It's not a problem. So basically, I know that most of you want this but you're gonna figure it out when you start using the add-on. Then we move to auto reply. Here, I don't need to explain what this does. Basically, you can just click, select, and do automated messages that you can reply to people, and you can make commands. For example, if I turn on auto reply now, I have my current commands here, and wait a second, I'm gonna alt tap on the second character. When I type /BiS, you can see here in the messages, it automatically sends a message on what the best in slot addon does, because I have the command here. And even cooler thing is, if you type $BiS and for example include an item there, it will send you back a message with the best in slot specs for it, which is pretty cool. One of a kind feature so far. Here in the master looter section, you have full tracking of items that drop. And by the way, you need to be in a raid in order to track the items that are dropping here. If you're not in a raid, this is not gonna work. And what does start master looter do? When you start this, it's gonna auto loot everything instantly. And here, let's say for example, if I select my shaman and I click Varolia as a target, when a Shadow Frost shards drop, it's gonna automatically send it to the selected target here. And for the BOEs, these are for example BOEs that dropped for me. These BOEs are also gonna be sent to the shaman if I select it is a BOE collector. And here you have an option to whisper the winner. So let's move on to auto invite now. Here I don't need to explain what this means. It's basically it's self-explanatory. When you enable it, people who whisper you the keywords that you've set here are gonna get auto invited. And here you can set your response message if you wanna have a response message. Also listen to guild chat means that if somebody uses a keyword in the guild chat, it's gonna get auto invited also. If you click the contains box right here, this means that if a keyword is contained into the message sent into the chat, it's also gonna get auto invited. And here, if you add a player, for example, if you have not checked the whitelist box, wait, I'm gonna leave with the shaman now, and I'm gonna try to auto invite myself. As you can see, nothing happens. But now I'm gonna whitelist the shaman, and when I type plus, I automatically got invited. So yeah. For the main spec and the buff changes now. Here, the cool thing about this, when you click, wait a second, when you click this button, you're gonna get a pop-up here, which is gonna ask you, do you wanna start a new session or add to the current one? For the example now, I'm gonna start a new session. As you can see, you instantly get a rate warning message. And now, for example, I'm going to try to whisper my paladin with my shaman to change my spec. And I want you to pay attention to the chat. Let's say I want to change my shaman spec to main spec protection. It will automatically get your class info and it will tell you the valid specs for your class that you can choose from. Currently for shaman it's elemental, enhancement or restoration. No matter how much you try, let's say main spec holy, it will not accept your changes. But let's say I wanna go enhancement. You don't even need to write the entire word, it will automatically catch it. And you receive a message. I received your MS change, Varoli enhancement, thank you. And as you can see here in the add-on, instantly we have a recorded main spec change. And why this is important, you're gonna see in the second. But before that, let's speak about the buff order. Here in the buff order, it's self-explanatory again. You can assign buffs to paladins and only paladins will appear here in those buttons. But the coolest function is the auto assign function. pay attention now. Currently I'm with the Retribution Paladin, and when I click auto assign, it's gonna assign me to Blessing of Might, of course. So the add-on tracks the spec that the Paladin has currently, but don't worry. If there is, for example, 3 Paladins, a Holy Paladin, a Retri Paladin, and a Protection Paladin, it will automatically assign Blessing of Kings to the Protection Paladin instead of Blessing of Sanctuary. And of course, it has support for the improved Blessing of Might talent. So if the Paladin has this talent, he is gonna automatically be chosen. So if you have 2 Retribution Paladins but only one has, the Paladin with the improved Blessing of Might is gonna get chosen to be assigned to Blessing of Might, which is pretty cool. And here you can announce it on the raid warning, as you can see on screen. And now let's move on to the raid browser. This is one of a kind raid browser, and you're gonna ask why. Just watch now, give it some time to catch some raids. First of all, it catches every single raid in the global and the Yale channel, in the trade or in the looking for group channel. But what makes the addon unique? It tracks for reserved items. As you can see currently in this raid, we have Sharpened 12 Scale reserved. So it's even gonna tell you if there is a reserved item. Of course guys, this is impossible to make 100% correct. There is gonna be some times that the addon is gonna miss out on some reserved items, but this is completely normal because people type it differently every time, and it's extremely hard to make an algorithm that is actually gonna catch it from plain text. But 90% of the time it's gonna tell you if you have reserved item. Another cool thing is you have a weekly filter. For example, here you can select that you want VOA only raids, and it's gonna display only VOAs. You can select Ulduar, it's gonna show you Ulduar. You can select ICC, it's gonna show you ICCs. 8 out of 12 ICCs, it's gonna show 8 out of 12 ICCs. Currently there is not any. And yeah, here we go. We have, this is a pure example. Look at the message. We have an Axe 25 weekly, and it automatically catches it as a weekly raid, which is again one of a kind. You're gonna need the gear score light addon in order for the raid browser to catch your gear score. And of course, if you click join here, it's gonna send a message with your achievement and your current gear score to the current leader who is hosting the group. And yeah, here on the help and frequently asked questions tab, you have the entire info that you're gonna need about the addon. Another cool thing about the addon itself, you have a quick access window that you can see here. And here you can enable and disable modules of the addon quickly. For example, if you click MS changes here, you're gonna see the same button again. And yeah, basically here you have announcements also. You can announce, you can auto assign the buffs. After that you can spam them as much as you want. You can announce the main spec changes here, and this button right here, share main spec plus buffs. This button shares the data that you have stored on your character for the current raid and sends it to other assistants or, for example, the master looter in the raid. So if you have an assist in the group who has the addon, but he was not here for the main spec changes and he didn't catch them, you click this button and you can see in the chat no online officers found to share with. But if, for example, my shaman was an assist, he was instantly gonna get the buff order and the main spec changes. But now let's speak about the mini row manager, one of the most unique parts of this addon, guys. It's absolutely crazy what this mini row manager can actually do. For example, let's say I want to roll this cloak, but as you can see here I have a button which says track, spec and rows. What does that mean? For example, I'm gonna go here to the quick access now and I'm gonna click gather spec data. And as you see, we have 2 players stored currently, which means that I've got the current spec of my shaman in the group, which is restoration. Let's see if I put up the item. Wait, I'm gonna select a 10-second timer. I'm gonna put up the item for row. Let's see what's gonna happen if I try to row with my shaman. Whoop! Restoration cannot row for this item. It automatically shows you if somebody who cannot row for an item tries to row for it. And as you can see in the chat, no eligible rows received, item skipped, even though I rowed with the shaman. But you're gonna say now, but Nibba, if somebody has changed the spec already, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna show you now. I'm opening up the main spec changes. And I'm changing my spec with the shaman to enhancement. And now I'm gonna try a second time to row the item. But this time, when I roll with the shaman, there is no problem. Because the add-on reads the spec database, but reads the main spec changes also. So that's not a problem. Another cool thing, if let's say you have enabled Master Looter, you're gonna get auto loot. But if you wanna use it like a regular role manager, you have the option. I cannot show you currently because I need an epic item in order for me to show you. But when you open the loot window, you're gonna get all of the epic loot displayed here in the mini role manager. And for example, you can click on an item that you have from the loot window, you can put it up for row, and after that you can click this button that is gonna appear on your loot window, auto loot, and it's gonna take the remaining items in you. There is a lot more stuff happening behind everything that you can see, but the add-on must be explored in order for everybody to see what its true potential is. Here you have the settings window. Here you have basically customization for absolutely everything on the add-on. But yeah, you need to tweak with this depending on what exactly you want. You have a lot of custom options here. Also, this under the quick access, this is a status bar that you can move around your screen. Wait, I've currently locked the position. Let me find it. Lock position. Okay. Now I can move it. You can put it somewhere on your screen. If the letters are in green, that means that the mojo is enabled. If they are in red, it means disabled. I've currently disabled the raid browser. I'm gonna disable the best in SWAT item tracker. Another thing that I wanna mention is you haven't seen it now because I already have the add-on, but the first time that you use the add-on, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get a setup wizard. Here, I advise you to read everything here. You're gonna get this only the first time that you use the add-on, or you can type /rnt setup in order to open this window a second time. And for example, I'm gonna click raid leader or officer. It's gonna show me all of the modules. But for example, if let's say you want to use only the spammer and the auto invite, you just select these two. And here you can set the interval for the spammer. Here you can set the invite keywords for auto invite. And here finally you can set up your UI scale. You can see how it looks here. For example, 85% is nice for me. I like it. Then when you press continue, you press finish, your UI is gonna get automatically reloaded. And by the way, there is a pretty nice splash loader. As you can see here, you're gonna get this only on the first login or /reload you do. So yeah, a lot more stuff happening with the add-on, but when people start using it, they're gonna find out what its capabilities really are. And as you see, we selected that we wanna use the spammer and auto invite only, and now in the add-on we're gonna get spammer and auto invite only. And yeah, basically that's it with the raid tools. Now let's speak about this addon, the RealNibba.Pack. This is a farming addon. It's focused on tracking your farming session. And now, for example, I'm gonna kill a mob here and I'm gonna loot it. As you can see instantly, everything you loot while the session is active is gonna appear in the window here. Here in the configuration, you have some options. You have loot settings, which means you can select for the type of loot that you get, from where do you want to get the actual price of the item. For grey items, it's best to put up a vendor price. For white items, for green or for blue, you can customize it as much as you want. Also, you can just disable to track some qualities. But let's say if you farm items that are not on the auction house and you do not know, or you know the price for them but they're not in the auction house database, you can right click and you can select a custom price. For example, make one linen coat cost 20 gold, you set the custom price, and from now on it's gonna count it as 20 gold. Here you have a pretty cool function called bag scanner, which is gonna scan your entire bags and it's gonna show you the price of everything depending on how you've set up the prices and the configuration window. Also, here you have sessions, here you have session history, here you can even see the items that you've looted for a session, how much gold you've made, how much gold per hour, and etc. You can pause it, you can stop it, and you can finish it. But now, the most unique part of the addon. Before I get to roots, I'm gonna show you. You have a auto track option. As you see, I have a herb in front of me currently and I'm tracking herbs. When you click auto track, it's gonna automatically swap between herbalism and mining tracking, which is a pretty cool thing, because some people, yeah, I know you have a macro for this, but it's just nice to have it in the addon. You can minimize it now, and it's a really small floating window that is gonna show you data of what you're farming here. And let's stop this for now. Let's move on to the most unique function and the only addon that is currently able to do this in the game. I have searched a lot and I've asked a lot of people, and there is not an alternative for this that you're seeing here. RealNibba roots. Let's just get into the action and create a new root so you can understand what I'm talking about. You click on create new root, and for example, we want to do a test YouTube. The test route for YouTube. You select what you're gonna farm. Let's select mixed farming, both mines and herbs. Then you have line thickness. I'm gonna select medium, or no, I'm gonna select thick so you can see it more easily. And when you press start recording, now the magic happens. You're gonna see an arrow. This arrow is an indicator of your starting point from where you started the route. And let's try to walk a little bit. I'm gonna move this window here. You can see recording 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, 7 points, and etc. And what does that mean? Why do you need the arrow? Well, you need the arrow so you can always know where the starting point of the route is. But why do you need the starting point? Let's continue running around a little bit to see what's gonna happen. By the way, if you stop on one place, it calculates the distance traveled, not setting up a point X number of seconds or milliseconds or minutes. It's recording the distance you have traveled. We're gonna go to the starting point now, and this is what I mean by the arrow is really helpful. It shows you how much time you have left into the till you reach the starting point. So here, when you get 0, this is the starting point. So you click stop recording and you click send to overlay, and voila. Instantly, as you can see on the minimap, we have something out of the ordinary. But when you open the map and when you take a closer look, we have a drone route on the map. You're seeing it both on the world map and on the minimap at the same time. And this blue circle that you see around my player arrow on the minimap, this is an indicator that is actually gonna help you. Just when you farm along a route, the route itself needs to be in the range of the blue circle, inside of the blue circle, and you're Gucci. And by the way, while looking on the minimap currently, do you see the flashing nodes? Well, of course, that's from RealNibba.Pack. Here on the RealNibba.Pack config, if you go to map features, you have a couple of things here. The first one is the node flash. If I disable it, you can take a look at the minimap. There is no more node flashing. I enable it and the nodes start to flash. And this is for every single node. For mailboxes, for example, or professions trainer if you're searching. Here you can customize the flash speed, etc. And now another cool thing, the player trail. If we enable this on the minimap and we start walking, you can see that our character leaves a cool red trail on the minimap that will help you to remember where you have already been. It's just cool. Sadly, it's ultra hard to integrate it into the world map because just this game is like 20 years old, and yeah, it's just hard. I'm not gonna explain why, but it's extremely hard. Here you can fully customize how long do you want the line to be, the fade time, for how much time it's gonna start expiring, the dot spacing, dot size, and absolutely everything. Here interface, you can set up your UI scale again. Here in profiles, you have a profile system where you can share your profiles between characters in the same account. And guys, this is basically gonna be it. This is the add-ons that I've made especially for you guys. But now at the end, there is a catch. All of you are gonna ask now, where can I find the download links? How can I download the add-ons? Well guys, first I wanna say, I want you to know what the main reason for me making the add-ons actually is. Well, the main reason is my supporters on buymeacoffee.com, because these guys were so generous with me and helped me out a lot. I wanted to make something for them to express my gratitude. But wait, don't worry, don't rush to leave the video, just listen to me. I'm making this add-on because of the people who support me, and I want to do something special for them. And the thing that they're gonna get is early access to the add-on. This add-on is gonna be released publicly and free for absolutely everybody, but it's not gonna happen at this moment, because I'm first gonna share it to everybody who actually helped me out financially, guys. I know that many of you will think that this is about the money, but no. This is mainly because I want to give something special for the people. Because currently, if you donate it or not, you get just a little shout out on my videos and that's it. But now you get early access to my add-ons. So if you want to get the add-ons, you can go on Buy Me a Coffee, and if you become a member, you can automatically connect your Discord to Buy Me a Coffee. And when you do this and become a member, you're automatically gonna get the supporter rank on my Discord, which means you're gonna have access to the add-on. And I wanna say, this for now, guys, is forbidden to be shared freely with people, because we want to keep the exclusiveness of the add-on for the people who actually support me. And 2 months from this moment of the video upload, this is gonna be released publicly and freely for everybody. So I hope you understand. I know that there will be a lot of crybabies that will cry about this, but I want to do something special for the people. I already told you, I already explained it to you. If you don't like it, guys, sorry, but this is life. I need to give back to the people who actually gave me something. So, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.